In tonight's top story, what do you think kills more Americans? Is it guns or prescription drugs? Good evening and welcome to 630 Point of View. I'm Chris Berg. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, today is International Overdose Awareness Day. Now, according to the Journal of American Medical Association, in 2010, this is absolutely nuts to me, there were over 38,000 prescription drug overdoses in the United States. Over 16,000 of those deaths were attributed to the opiate drug-related overdoses. Now, opiates, they're essentially the same thing as heroin. And in Big Pharma, we probably know them better as the opiate-based drugs for painkillers like OxyContin or Oxy. Now, more on this Oxy thing in a moment, but a couple other interesting facts. Every year since 2011, prescription drug overdoses in America have actually increased. And according to a study conducted by the Mayo Clinic, nearly 70% of Americans are on at least one prescription drug, and 20% of us, 1/5 of Americans, are on at least 5 prescription drugs at any given time. To me, that is absolutely stunning. Now, prescription painkillers kill more Americans. Wait to hear this one. Prescription painkillers from Big Pharma being prescribed by doctors kill more Americans than heroin and cocaine combined. Oh, and this gets really great to know what our government's doing here. To top it off, as I mentioned to you last week, the FDA just okayed Oxy for kids ages 11. I'm not even making this up. If that's not enough to put a chill up your spine, in 2014, the FDA approved a new opiate drug called Zohydro, even though the FDA scientific advisor said, no, don't approve this drug. Then just this year in 2015, the FDA has approved 2 new opioids without even consulting. Didn't even consult their advisory committee. Can you say, show me the money? I mean, it's ridiculous. What I want to know is, why is there not more outrage about this? Why isn't the mainstream media doing more to shine a very, very bright light on this problem? Here's the answer, because at the end of the day, this is huge business for a lot of people. In 2013, Americans spent over $329 billion, yes with a B, billion dollars on prescription drugs. That's roughly $1,000 for every man, woman, and child in the United States of America. Think we got a problem? Because in my opinion, we should be embarrassed by that number. Now, on top of that, media outlets, the reason why you don't hear more people talking about this in the media is because they make a ton of dough with Big Pharma. Big Pharma spends roughly $4 billion per year marketing directly to you and I, the consumer. And on top of this, another $24 billion per year is spent by Big Pharma marketing to healthcare providers. To me, this is absolutely shocking. And according to a new study, this is done by Global Data, 9 out of 10 Big Pharma companies spend more on marketing than they do on research, which probably explains to many of us now why 90% of the Big Pharma ads have got these, in my opinion, absolutely ridiculous 30 to 60-second disclaimers in nearly every single one of their spots that's very similar to this.
Abilify is not for everyone. Call your doctor if your depression worsens or you have unusual changes in behavior or thoughts of suicide. Antidepressants can increase these in children, teens, and young adults. Elderly dementia patients taking Abilify have an increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor if you have high fever, stiff muscles, and confusion to address a possible life-threatening condition. Or if you have uncontrollable muscle movements, as these could become permanent. High blood sugar has been reported with Abilify and medicines like it. In some cases, extreme high blood sugar can lead to coma or death. Other risks include decreases in white blood cells, which can be serious, dizziness upon standing, seizures, trouble swallowing, and impaired judgment or motor skills.
Adding Abilify has made a difference for me.
And your doctor's prescribing that. In that piece, death, coma, seizure, life-threatening, just to name a few of the potential side effects that this pharma drug can offer you. I want to remind you, just a few months ago, I told you that in 2010, over 38,000 people were killed via prescription drugs. And again, that's in 2010. I want you to take a moment here and think of, how many people do you think were killed via gunfire in 2011? You can see the number there. This is in the United States, 32,163. So here we are. We've got everybody screaming about more gun control and all this stuff about, you know what, getting guns out of people's hands. That's what's killing people. And I realize those are a lot of senseless deaths that are taking place on the other side of a gun. But when I see 38,000 versus 32,000 because of big pharma, and I'm not blaming this all on the docs, but people prescribing these drugs that are then going out and killing people, and there's not more uproar in America about what's happening with those numbers, that is absurd, ridiculous, and we should be embarrassed. We wonder why we're walking around as a bunch of zombies, a bunch of sheeple in this country. I mean, I don't want to put the tinfoil hat on, but you got to start to wonder, is there something purposeful going on here that we're spending $329 billion a year on pharma drugs? Wake up, people. Wake up. Those numbers are the facts. All right. Want to know what you have to say about this? We'll get to that in just a moment. When we come back.